Hey there, as a CEO and a leader, I'm sure you've heard many times that culture eats strategy for breakfast, and that is very true. At the same time, there's a greater truth I want to share with you and give you an updated version of that quote and that statement. My name is Ramon Newman. I'm the co-founder, CEO of New Mavericks, and I want to appreciate you for taking the time to take a look at how we've worked with CEOs over the last 20 years, giving them a boost of support and enhancing and protecting their achievement and progress. And I'm going to go through this through a slide demonstration here to give you an insight to the science and technologies behind what we do with leaders. And we're going to start with the core goal and benefit that we've brought to leaders, CEOs, mostly of public listed companies. And that is really developing leaders' capacity, their full capacity to really make the best high pressure, high impact decisions that all stakeholders support and gain value from. Here's an example of our top client we worked with for 10 years before he retired. He grew a company from 8 million to nearly 8 billion in his tenure. And we worked with him in the last 10 years of his career. And the company grew from 1 billion to 7-8 billion in that time. And they work in a very competitive, very tight margin industry. We started working with them in 2010. The stock price was around $5.40. Today, it's grown to nearly $41. And you can find out more about our clients at newmavericks.com/clients and the value that we've brought to them. Many of our clients have worked with us for 5, 10, even 20 years. And this is because of the timely, relevant, and value that we bring them and the results that unfolds through their business performance. So getting into the science and the technology of what we do, the science is the science of protection, we call it, the ability to be proactive in detecting what is required to really enhance and protect your progress as a leader. Now, you for sure know that your primary responsibility is business performance. And that comes from the quality of culture that you create, the values, the vision, and then out of that comes the strategy and the execution. And this is all happening on a very conscious level of business to make things work. Now, you also, I'm sure, would recognize that the basis of business performance is leadership performance. And that is really, accuracy of your decision making. And we've identified over the last couple of decades working with our leaders that there's 6 key components that really supports the leader in having that accurate, precise decision-making power. And this is really happening on a subconscious level. So the first component is clarity, which is really another word for simplicity, that you're able to make the complicated simple, that you have that value of simplicity of what's important, what's not important. You're able to purify distractions, the stresses, the negativity, so that you're clear about what needs to happen. Then that must unfold in terms of coherence within yourself, within your team, within your company and your marketplace, that you create this value, that unified value of unity, of togetherness, that we're all working together and cooperating to make something great happen. So when a leader has a strong level of clarity and coherence, then what we find, they have a strong belief in themselves. And this is very important because one can believe in what they do and their ability and the outcomes or others, but if they don't believe in themselves, then it's hard for people to believe in them and want to buy into them and work with them. So very important to have that belief in self through clarity and coherence. The next value key that we've found is very important is creativity. And this creativity really comes through being in what we call the leadership state, which is a very alert, awake, truthful, creative state of mind or mindset that allows you to avert the problems, the negativities, and the dangers before they arise and see the opportunities as they arise. And then through that, having the capacity to handle them, whether there's great challenges involved in making something happen, whether there's great opportunities to make something happen, that you have that capacity, that wherewithal to make it all work. Because you can be very creative, but if you don't have the capacity to follow through on that creativity, then it's not going to unfold as you want. Now, when a leader has that strong level of creativity and capacity, they have a very strong belief in what they do and the process. and what's unfolding. And they're trusting that unknown value because we don't know all the variables. We know, maybe a few of them or a lot of them, but not all of them. So therefore, that quality of belief and trust in the process and what you do is very important. This comes from creativity and capacity. And then this evolves to being that catalyst, which is really being in that frame of mind where you're taking right action. You're an inspiration, you're a spark, you're a catalyst to allow more of those dominoes to fall in the right direction for you so that you can then capitalize on what you're doing. And by capitalize, we mean that the market, your environment is supporting you, because you can have a vision for something. It doesn't necessarily mean the environment's going to support it. You can be doing all the right things, but somehow the environment doesn't get it. And so the ability to capitalize is really based on your good merit, your deserving, we call it deserving power, so that the environment does support what you want to see happen. And when one has that strong catalyst, is able to capitalize, then they have a strong belief in others and outcomes that they want to see happen. So we could say this is very complete, in terms of how a leader really enhances and protects progress. But what we've found is there's another layer of what does drive leadership performance. And we call it leadership consciousness. And this is happening on that silent level, that more settled state of mind where all the energy and clarity and intelligence really comes from in the first place, where all the dynamism really has its source. And when one has that power of silence in their mind, then what they find is they have more awareness about things. And through that awareness, better knowledge flows through them or to them. And they have more of ability to be in tune with what's evolutionary. What are those laws of nature that naturally allows things to unfold in a very superfluid way? And that is really a quality of energy. When a leader has good energy, naturally they infuse that into their environment. So that comes from consciousness. If one wants more energy, one wants more of anything, compassion, love, or anything, it really comes from consciousness first. So by developing the consciousness or the container of the leader, then they're able to experience more of what we call this fulfillment. And fulfillment is very important because it's not something that you achieve, it's something that you experience in yourself. Your mind is settled and alert, your heart is full and open, and from that state, you're more likely to attract achievement to you. That achievement is a byproduct of you being fulfilled in who you are, what you do, and your purpose. And then you're not chasing achievement to feel fulfilled. You already are fulfilled, and fulfillment is the byproduct. So this comes from developing this leadership consciousness. So this is why we can update the statement that culture eats strategy for breakfast to leadership consciousness eats culture and strategy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because that's the basis of everything. So if we want a better business performance, we have to go back to leadership consciousness, enliven that field within ourselves, and then that translates and gets infused into leadership performance, and then back into better business performance. So this is our domain, that highlighted area there, working on that subconscious level of leadership performance. So there's more accurate decision making, and this comes from helping leaders connect with more of their leadership consciousness. And then that then gets infused into the culture, strategy, and execution, and improves business performance. So how do we go about implementing the science of protection? We do it through our our technologies of protection for enhancing and protecting leaders' progress. And first of all, the first way we do this is through our breakthrough protection calls. These are 2-on-1 calls with myself and business partner Paulo D'Angelo. We've been working together for the last 22 years. We actually met when we were full-time meditating monks. And we come from that background of being competitive athletes who became full-time meditating monks. Paulo for 15 years, 6 of those years up in the Himalayas, myself for 10 years, combined total of 25 years of really developing that inside game of consciousness and awareness through our long meditation programs. And we actually developed, what we're doing today in that environment. And in the afternoons, we actually step out of the program and connect with business leaders, help them debunk their stresses, see a great level of truth that's going to make them victorious and triumphant. So we give a lot of attention on these calls. These are 1-hour calls every 2 weeks that we have with our CEOs, and really help them have that state of mind that allows them to feel like they're in control and able to make things unfold in a better way. So the second technology that we implement is a world-class leadership brain technique. It's a very proven, simple, natural mental technique for developing what they call global alpha brain coherence, which is found that world-class athletes, business leaders, and musicians, when they're performing at their best, making their best decisions, they have a lot of this coherence in their brain functioning. And that allows them to pick up on the right thoughts at the right time to make those best decisions. There's a picture of Ray Dalio, who leads probably one of the most successful hedge funds in history. And he actually accredits this technique to his success. This is the main thing that he credits to his success. He has half of his 700 staff are also doing this technique. So it does develop a very powerful level of world-class leadership brain functioning. The third component technology of protection is a total health protection supplement. It's an all natural, organic, natural nutritional supplement based on minerals like gold and pearl and Ayurvedic herbs that really strengthen the cellular memory of perfect health. The cells have a memory and intelligence of how to function properly, perfectly, but sometimes if there's too much stress or toxicity that's getting into these cells, then they lose that memory, and then all sorts of problems and diseases can come up. So this supplement strengthens that level of intelligence in you, improves brain connectivity, strengthens the nervous system and the immune system, so you have more capacity and protection to really lead with greater precision without compromising your health. The fourth technology of protection for enhancing and protecting your leadership progress is what we call a coherence protection support technology. It's very personalized coherence technology that's based on who you are, the time cycle that you're in, some of the influences going on for you, that we're able to mitigate and enhance through energy and vibrational sound technology to neutralize problems and dangers. Everything is ultimately a frequency. Even you hearing me speak is a frequency of sound, and it has effect on you. So this is a very specific technology that is based on some very well time-tested, proven methodologies. And this really helps neutralize the problems and dangers before they arise, removes the obstacles, whether seen or unseen, and really enhances and maximizes the opportunities that you're working on. So overall, our science of protection, comes from the book and the technologies that we shared with you. We give you copies of this to really strengthen your understanding and to enhance and stabilize your experience of these technologies of developing your leadership consciousness and your leadership performance to really have a greater, more powerful impact on your business performance. So the new Mavericks Leadership Breakthrough Protection Program for enhancing and protecting your leadership progress is an initial 90-day, 3-month program that we like to have with you. Many of our clients, as I said, work with us for 5, 10, 20 years, but we don't ask for that commitment up front. We get you to experience, have a taste of what we do, and give you a significant boost in progress in that 3-month period by applying our science and technologies of protection. And this requires about 7 to 10 hours of time in that 3-month period, less than an hour per week. And the fee is really customized based on the size and goal that you have for your company. So if this sounds like something you'd really like to check out, really like to have an experience of, we welcome you to have a call with us, a quick call to kind of get to know each other, understand where you're at, understand where you want to go, and how we can really apply this to you and give you an experience like no other in being a leader and creating the experience that you want for yourself and your company. So just click the link below and schedule a time that's suitable to you, and we'll look forward to interacting with you. Appreciate your time and look forward to being of value in enhancing and protecting your leadership experience.